So today starts a whole new platform for both my Instagram and TikTok. It's finally time to debut this AI project that I've been working on, and it's a long tail, so it's going to be broken up over a lot of time. But this is the story of my 80s animation series journey. So strap in, here we go. Jaws was the movie that made me want to make movies. I was 8 years old when my mom took me to see it, and after we left in that parking lot, I told my mom that I wanted to make movies.
It's the Dame Taft Movie Show, hosted by my nephew, Screww.
Thank you, Auntie. Yes, it is the Dame Taft Movie Show. Please welcome the star of the show, filmmaker and author, Harrison Smith, a.k.a. H-Bomb. H-Bomb. Welcome, H-Bomb. You had your new feature-length AI movie released this week on Rad TV.
That is correct. I made this as kind of like a calling card to the industry. I know that there are things on it that are not perfect. I'm very well aware of all that. But I also know that the rate that the technology is improving, which is literally by the week, that I couldn't wait around another 3 months to get it perfected, because you're constantly just chasing the dragon with it is really what it is. So I got it to a point. I went back, I fixed things that in the beginning, like 9 months ago, that didn't look so good, or you couldn't do certain things, like especially consistency in a room, to make a room look right when you move the camera, and the room looks the same behind the mother as it does the father, as it does the kid. And that's a lot of technical stuff, but
the background is just a little bit out of focus. Yeah, stuff we're accustomed to in movies. It'll stand out if you don't match up the way things were captured on film.
Right.
A lot of people are talking about this now. A lot of people, it's no good, I think. But it's inevitable. It's already here. It's what's being used. And I think there is a distinction between putting in prompts to an AI program and say, okay, write me a script.
Right.
Whereas you wrote the script.
I wrote it like 2.5 years ago.
So the AI was just the imagery?
Yeah. As those chains of videos that I sent you explained, that I'd gone down the route of trying both with my animated series and as well as with this on any movie to make a live action movie. Before I wanted to make it traditional and to try to find the financing to do this. I've grown very weary of making movies for ultra low budgets after COVID. I mean, the budget's never recovered. So with this movie, I could have had the option to really go no budget and try to make it as gritty and grimy and, sell it for like an MG or something like that. But I wanted to try this. I felt, wow, this script just might really actually lend itself pretty well to AI. And it'll allow me to cut my teeth on it and really, learn.
So this wasn't written intended to be an AI movie. It was a script you had already written, and you just happened to work out this way. All right. So for people who are still curious about the subject, who haven't dismissed it altogether, so say a person has a script. All right. And hey, sounds great. I don't have to hire union actors or a crew. I don't have to scout locations and buy insurance. Do they just procure an AI program and start feeding in prompts to create the visuals?
No, that's part of the AI slop mob that says everything that's AI is slop, and just you write a prompt and you hit enter. The primary AI generator, video generator for this was Hailu and Minimax. However, to get the lip syncing, to do other things, I used Higgsfield. I used Dramina.
What are these AI programs?
AI programs that Higgsfield, for example, is an all-in-one. You can generate images, you can do lip sync, you can do video, uncensored video as well. which is why you saw the film. There are a couple sex scene kind of things and violence, or the blood at the end.
It's very disturbing. You really need to see a doctor, Harrison. You
I get
sick
that.
puppy, you.
As a matter of fact, a major actor just saw it because he wants to do an AI film, and he wants to bring I'm not at liberty to say the name right now, but hopefully I will be able to, but like an A-lister. And he watched this and apparently came back and said, this is like fucked up. Like this was,
Yeah.
I've got shit in my head from watching this that I didn't want that in my head.
Now, this person who shall remain nameless, was he approaching it as a potential producer or a vehicle for himself or his voice?
No, he was an actor. He still is an actor, but
Right.
he's got a couple big names that he's worked with, and
I mean, what was his interest? How would he want to put himself in an AI movie? Is it behind the scenes or in it?
I put his image in there, but he
Okay.
was talking about bringing this A-lister to the table who does want to put his image into an AI film.
Okay.
And he brought it to me because of a movie I'm working on called Break. And I'm going to make that in AI right now. It's presently moving forward in AI with a team, with a whole AI team.
You're already on your way to your next project. And before this feature, you had your animated series.
Yeah.
And I had thought that the animation programs had developed in conjunction with AI to the effect where you could feed in prompts, but you had to have someone sketch that out.
Well, I created all the characters in the animated one myself. I drew those originally.
Okay.
Then when AI started really moving with image generation, I kind of fed those images into there and it improved on them. It gave them better line drawing, shading, all of that stuff, and made them come far more alive than what I would do.
Right.
So then from there, on the first season, I built models of all of them. They're called Lauras. And so I built Laura models of all the characters so that way they're consistent. They look the same in every scene. The problem with that was because the technology, when I did the first, I don't think I sent you season 2, episode 1. I'm going to after this show so you can take a look. The animation is entirely different now. In my first season, I would have to take some of the characters and I actually had to like green screen them and then add them and composite them into the backgrounds like traditional animation, basically. Where you have the cells and you laid them over top the still background, blah, blah, blah.
Okay. Yeah, you figure it's just done all at once, but you still had to composite it. Okay.
I still had to composite. And you get very limited results with that. And then the lip syncing technology, although I was going for not so much an anime, but like a Rankin Bass look for when they talked, like that animagic look. But with season 2, episode 1, especially, like I'm working on episode 2 right now, the animation is just, it looks like a regular cartoon now. Like it just, everything's smooth. I have far better tracking shots and camera angles. My cameras come in now and they move. When you see the family around the table, it's now like a shot from behind the kid's head and everybody's around the table instead of compositing before and trying to place people. What a nightmare.
So it's a combination in just this little amount of time since your first season of it. It's a combination of simplification and more options. Is that what we're talking about here?
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Simplification and more options. Like even with slow burn, Higgsfield created something, I would say it was about 4 months ago, called angles.
Yeah.
And so you can take your still image, a kid sitting at a table, and you can move the camera around and you can put it on top and it will make that room, whatever room that kid is in, it'll be consistent in every shot. And that was a major breakthrough. And that made my life so much easier.
360-degree view there.
Well, you saw the film in the scene where he's in the kitchen in the beginning and he's on his cell phone and the parents are ragging his ass about everything. That was the third rendition of that scene I did, because in the beginning, I'm generating the kitchen scenes and I'm like, make everything like a neutral white in the back so that way you can edit all this together and it kind of looks like they're all in the same room. And then it got a little better, and I went back and I made some passes. But then all of a sudden, Higgs field dropped angles, and then it started drop. Then Nano Banana came. That was it. Game changer. Everything changed.
Apologies to anyone for referencing stuff you may not have seen, which is why you should go see it. It's a free movie, man, and it's very heinous. Don't show
Provide
it.
the link with your show.
What's that?
The link on this show.
Oh yeah, no, it'll be in the description. Yeah. But this is what people are talking about, and I have to say, I'm an old fuddy duddy. I hate everything now. I yell at the clouds, just like our parents did. But you know, but again, there's also the inevitability. These technologies do come along, and things do evolve, and you can go with it, or be upset about it. Now, I was initially kind of optimistic, thinking, I guess wrongly, that oh hey, well, I've got a script, but I don't have a budget, and I got a computer, and I just put in all these prompts and everything. But yet, so even though on the surface it seems like an avenue for struggling filmmakers without bucks to get their foot in the door, there's still more to it than that. What kind of expense are we looking at? You still got to get all these people involved if you're just, putting something together?
It depends on how big you want to go. Fortunately, Laura Marie Taylor, who stars in this, was more than fine with just doing this pretty much free as an experiment. And then, because I told her this is a proof of concept, I have no plans on selling this movie because the law is still way behind the technology on certain things. And I think now things are better, but it's really the programs, which I'm a CPP, a creative partner over at Minimax. So I had Minimax and Hailu free at my disposal. But then you have subscriptions to other things, and you limitedly do that. Or Minimax allowed Windows into using other platforms for certain things that came bundled with my package. So I was able to do this without a lot of major expense. Most of the voices in the movie are cloned. There's very little ADR in this, and sometimes that's very apparent, and that's okay. Because again, that's why we have a subtitle on the film, an AI horror story. I'm not trying to pass this off as 100% real. My point in making this was to say the tech is now here. It can be done. And now, since I started this, it's even bigger. It's even far bigger and far easier to do. And now you're seeing it. For example, the Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise fighting on the building kind of thing. However, somebody went and did the trouble of going back and actually doing a proper ending for the Stranger Things finale and did a really nice job with it. I mean, I looked at it, I'm like, shit, that's what we should have got. And now people are starting to do that. They're going back and they're fixing Star Wars scenes. But this is what the technology can do.
Yeah, people are going back and making alterations to existing movies and TV shows.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. And
how do you feel? How do you feel about that?
Well, again, it doesn't matter how I feel because the technology is here and people are going to use it no matter what. It's still not write a prompt and hit enter. Like you get those people, pick up a pencil, do something artistic. Okay, well, who picked up the fucking pencil in the prequels? Who picked up the pencil in all the Avengers movies where it's always the same goddamn Photoshop poster on every Marvel movie that's out there? And, the same, like some guy on Twitter last week, somebody did a Star Wars scene. And this guy wrote, no matter whatever happens, I will never support AI shit like this. And I wrote back, oh, so you'll support this? And I put in this awful green screen scene from one of those Marvel Avengers movies where they're all flying out of this Jeep in slow motion. I said, this is any better?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah.
This is better. I sat through Godzilla versus Kong, which was really nothing more than a Fortnite movie.
Right.
All it was just a big video game. Where were the practical effects in that? Godzilla and Kong up on top of that aircraft carrier, dude. That's all cartoon. It's just an elaborate cartoon. That's all it is.
Yeah. And you take it back all the way to Dynamation. I think that's Dynarama, the Charles Schneer, Ray Harryhausen.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the evolution of special effects. I guess people are balking mostly at removing the human element. Now, I think, I mean, as long as you're in there with the script, then a script that's written by a human and not AI, which I guess they
Not
have
a drop of AI on that script.
right. Then what's the difference then between an AI feature and an animated feature?
Right. That's how I'm treating it. I treat what
Yeah.
I'm doing right now as animation. That's what I'm making.
Now, I think this is already being done, but are there people are creating AI scripts, right? They're not writing a single.
I still stand by that the movie Carry On Netflix was predominantly written by AI. I really do. I'm not just saying it. It wasn't just that that was a shitty movie for one, but number two, it had all the hallmarks in listening to the script and the dialogue and watching it. It's like, oh, so give me Die Hard 2 with a little of this, and here's the action scene, and the AI wrote it.
So that's what they do. They enter the prompts. They want it to be like another type of movie. You think that would be the main way to do it? They would put in prompts of successful movies.
Oh,
I mean,
I think that's exactly what they did with Carry
okay,
On. I do. I think they just said, "Give me this with a little of that,"
yeah,
and that's what it did. Maybe you had a real writer. I'm sure there were real writers.
yeah, because someone's got to look at the first draft there. It'd be funny if they created an AI first draft and then it went through a dozen rewrites by actual writers. You know?
Yeah, it's something, and Netflix is admitting now they're slowly normalizing things. Like they just quietly dropped out there that a number of their shows now use AI for special effects. And the ending of Stranger Things, that whole last season, so much AI. And here's the best part: at the very end, if you go back and watch season 5 and the last episode, what was it, 8? If you watch the ending credits, you see all these black and white, like graphic novel images that I guess Mike went on to make a graphic novel or a role playing game of everything they went through. But there is, what's her name, who plays Nancy, holding a gun, and yet on the hand there are 6 fingers on the hand. And
oops.
Like, so, yep, oops, that was AI.
Well, they got an AI editor too, and it didn't see that on the multiple takes. And wow, it's a brave new world. All right, well, to wrap this up, what is your basic response to people who object? Is even a point in arguing it?
Because it's here. It's like
right.
It's no different than arguing. Here's how I equated it. When AI first started hitting the video generation realm, I said this is a tsunami. And when certain things dropped, that the models got really good, I said the water has already left the beach. So now you can stand on that beach and you can pump your fist and, like you said, yell at clouds. You can yell at that wave, but that fucking wave is coming in. So you can stand there and rant and be crushed by it when it comes in, or you can run for the high ground. But even if you run for the high ground and you look down, that landscape will change forever after that wave recedes. Once it comes in and hits, it will change that landscape, that coastline forever. So the best thing you can do is grab a boat and try to navigate. And that's what I did. I tried going the traditional route with animation. I tried, ever since COVID, budgets from production companies that want great movies but don't want to pay for them. My God, that's become the norm. And any independent filmmaker out there right now is going to tell you I'm right. Because if they're out there and they're the ones that are like, I don't know, do I go to a GoFundMe or don't I? And it's like, you don't want to ever be caught in that. I haven't gone to a GoFundMe because I've always been lucky to get my films financed with domestic international distribution with good celebrity names. But that is fading. That's the problem. And since COVID, they've slashed these budgets. They're throwing very little money. Like one company came to me and said, "Oh, we'll give you $75,000 to make Slow Burn."
Slashing the budgets on live action movies. Okay.
Yeah. And so when I went to one company who distributed one of my previous films and did very well with it, by the way, that's all they offered me, $75,000 to make this movie.
A feature?
want a feature. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. The amount of work alone that I put into this script is 75 grand. Crew, how do I pay for a crew? How do I feed a crew? How do I do all that on 75 grand?
Is there an estimated budget on this finished AI film, Slow Burn?
You mean if it were a traditional film?
Do you have an accounting? Do you know how much it cost altogether, all the time and resources?
No. If you take my time and the resources and a year basically of my life to do this and learn all these platforms, no,
Was
there's
this
no price.
was this financed? You said so. It's just your time on the end of creating the script, and
It
and
was me.
and
I just did it on my own.
you're still hands on with the programs, but there is still parts of it is still farmed out to other people. Correct? That
No, nobody this was farmed out to no one. All the animation is me. All the image design is me. All the sound editing, the mixing, the music, me.
you a plethora of different programs.
Correct. Primarily, exclusively, Hailu Minimax.
But you became proficient. Is it just that they're very user friendly? Was it repetition? Did you have a tutor?
No, I had the only tutors I had were YouTube. On YouTube and devoured tutorials. And that includes like even sometimes I use like a local install AI for my computer, which is installed directly. And man, I learned everything about GitHub and repositories and downloading, Python coding and the whole thing. I mean, I went through it all.
Well, this goes back to my earlier question then. Since now you're reviving my optimism. So then, if you take a fellow who happens to have a couple of scripts lying around and has the time and is willing to do the homework and watch the tutorials, and you have more than one computer with all this hardware on it, or just one big one? What?
I have one big one
Okay.
right back there.
You got all those programs on there, and you learn them, a little repetition, and you input your script and your shots how you want it, then it can be done. Again, I was talking about budding filmmakers, people who couldn't hire a crew and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it is available if you just have the resources of the time and the programs and the what do you call it? The data, the RAM,
Yeah.
yeah.
The resources, the computing resources, graphic cards, RAM, VRAM, the whole thing.
Do you have a time frame where it took you from beginning to end on this feature film?
On the new one?
Yeah.
No, I'm hoping it'll be done within 6 months.
No. The one you in Slow Burn, the one you completed from its inception to its completion.
A year.
While you were working on other things.
Yeah, I was working on the animated series.
Yeah. Okay.
On regular films, I have 2 live action films. It looks like are going to shoot this year. So and pretty decent budgets on those, but again, I'm doing all this. Doing this all on my own. I just think what people ought to know is, yes, there is AI slop. There is the stuff like I have Sora.
AI slop.
Garbage.
Garbage.
I have Sora 2 on my phone, and I just create some stupid prompts, and I get a video. That's fine. I'm not out trying to monetize it, and I'm not trying to pass it off as cinema. But then when you have something like Slow Burn or my animated series where you're crafting, you're designing, you're writing the scripts, that's what makes both of these work. Like for the shortcomings that Slow Burn has here and there throughout the film, it has a strong script. It's got a good story to it. And it is an AI written. It's all written by me. I mean, like I said, the script has been sitting around for 2.5 years. So the things that you touched on, yes, I would say you got a lot of it. The big distinction is between garbage, which again, you can do Sharknado movies, which are CGI, and that is not the same as the Phantom Menace CGI or Avatar, right? It's just different variations of that technology. You have low end of the technology and you have high end of the technology. That's what I'm saying. I took the high road on both of my AI product right now, the 2 big ones, Slow Burn and the animated series, are handcrafted. I'm not hitting a prompt and hitting enter.
H-Bomb, it's been an education. Thank you for sharing this. I hope this is helpful to other people. I'm still very interested in it. I'm sure there's a lot of unanswered questions, but we'll talk about this as we go along with the other shows, because you're still working on other projects and everything. Thanks for your time. We'll wrap up here.
Yeah.
Go to Rad TV and watch H-Bomb's newly released horror show, Slow Burn, on Rad TV.
You're white, you can do anything.
Farewell and adieu, you fair Spanish ladies.
It's the Dame Taft Movie Show, hosted by my nephew, Screww.